Hi, my name's Aiden,
And I'm Jake.
and welcome to History and Haunts. Welcome back, everyone, to episode 9.
What? Episode 9. We're still doing them, huh?
We're still doing them.
Great.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, this is great.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah.
I hope you had a nice time. Can I just put a PSA out there?
What?
I just need to say that I just need everyone to know that not everyone has New Year's off. And I find it really obnoxious, the amount of fireworks going off at midnight.
Oh, yeah.
It sounded like we were under attack.
Yeah. I've never been stressed out listening to fireworks, but for some forsaken reason, I'm laying in bed. It's like 9 at night. I'm trying to go to sleep.
Because we have work the next day.
Yeah, we both have to go to work. We got to wake up at 5 a.m.
To take care of you assholes. Sorry, that was a little harsh.
What? Jesus.
No. Yeah, I'm saying that because, listen, all these bitches setting off fireworks, you know where they are the next day? In the fucking hospital.
Yeah, because they blew their fingers off.
So they're not letting us get sleep by being dumb.
Let me just tell you, man, my heart is racing. Like, I don't know what's happening. You know, like I've never been to war. You know, but
it sounds like
there's no reason for me to be like stressed out about this. But these fireworks, they were just stressing me out, man. You know why?
Why?
I just think about it financially, and like I'm just like, oh my god, if this sets our house on fire, a firework goes through our window, like I'm pissed.
We have some really stupid neighbors, guys.
Very.
I'm not even sure if they
probably the worst neighbors I think I've had ever.
Yeah, they're pretty dumb.
Very dumb.
I don't know what they do all day, except sit around and not take their kids to school. But yeah. I just do not trust them or our other neighbors to be setting off fireworks.
Yeah. So I didn't even need to wait till midnight.
No.
I was woken up at midnight to what sounded like literal World War III going on outside. It was, how do people got money for fireworks these days is what I want to know. We're complaining all day, all night. Oh, you know, inflation
Eggs are
this,
so expensive.
Inflation that. Oh, but we're going to shoot off thousands of fireworks, you know?
I know.
At some fucking price of money.
I don't know how to afford it.
Quit your bitching is what it sounds like to me. And I just want you to say that our neighbors, man, I left for work at like 5:30. I don't know if you saw them, but they were still outside.
Oh my God.
Drinking. I couldn't believe it.
Oh my God.
That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, I've said my piece. Basically, I understand it's New Year's, but the amount of fireworks going off was excessive. And I would like fall asleep and then there would be a massive explosion and I would wake up and I would fall asleep and I would wake up and then it was midnight and it was just insane. Insane.
It was, honestly.
On a positive note.
It was intense. A crappy day at work too the next day. Oh my God. I was just trying to stay awake. Oh my God, it was hard.
Yeah, we were all complaining about our neighbors at work. All of us. On a positive note though, before we get into this podcast, I also have another PSA, but it's a positive PSA.
Another one?
Yes.
Is this just your PSA podcast?
It is my PSA podcast.
Okay.
You all need to go out and buy a Ninja Creamy. It's the best thing that ever happened to me. I love it so much. We've made some delicious ice cream so far. And I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah, we didn't even eat dinner.
No, we just eat ice cream now.
No,
dinner.
She does.
I do, yeah.
She does. Some of us have to meet our protein for the day.
Listen.
But it doesn't matter in her world. She just wants ice cream.
The ice cream has protein in it because I put protein powder in it and cottage cheese and milk. It's got protein.
And then don't forget the M&M skillet chocolate chip cookie that you made in the stove, in the oven yesterday. And then you sprinkled that shit on top of the ice cream. Tonight, and handed me a bowl as well, obviously.
Yeah.
But
tonight we're having the peach one though, and that one, guys, oh my god, it's like so good. It's like Wendy's frosty texture, but
nobody
creamy
cares, man.
and peachy
Can
and
we
delicious.
can we get on with this?
They need to know about how wonderful the Ninja Creamy is. That's all I'm gonna say, guys. Go out and buy one. It's worth however much it is. And thank you
I think
to
it's
my
like $150.
and thank you to my parents for buying me one. I know my dad's listening, so thank you, Dad. Okay, moving on. I just want to say that I am very excited for this episode today because it involves a cemetery and I love cemeteries. So,
Yes.
today we are covering a dam.
You're kidding me.
I'm not kidding.
A dam?
A dam.
Wow, I'm shaking in my boots.
Oh my gosh. We are covering Hales.
1900s?
Yes. I hope you guys can't hear our dog. She's being very obnoxious right now. I don't know why she thinks like podcasting is the time to go.
Oh my gosh.
Why does she think podcasting is the time to go crazy with the bone? Anyway, as I was saying, we are covering the Hales Bar Dam.
It's just at least from the 20th century.
It's from the 1900s, like the whole
Thank
thing,
God.
1900s. It's a hydroelectric dam located on the Tennessee River in a section of the river known as Tennessee River Gorge. It's very dangerous, but despite this, it was a major area for traveling back in the day. It has a strong current, unpredictable water levels, and many hazards. Part of the gorge is known as the Suck, and I think they got this name from the Native Americans because according to the Native Americans, they could see the souls of their ancestors in a massive whirlpool that's in this area of the river or was in this area. I don't know if there actually is a whirlpool there.
You mean like that scene from the Scooby-Doo? The live action one?
Sure. Oh.
You know what I'm talking about?
I think I do. I feel like I can picture it.
Yep.
And they get sucked down into the cave?
Yeah, in the cave, and then that's where like Scrappy's there.
Scrappy-doo!
This is my last podcast.
Yes, just like that. And it said if anyone got too close, they would be sucked in by their ancestors. So
I mean, fair enough. I mean, that's kind of how whirlpools work, you know? Like, if you jump into a whirlpool, honestly, you deserve to get sucked in and death.
Why do their ancestors, I wonder why their ancestors wanted to suck them in, though. I don't really know much about Native American culture, though, so I don't know. There's other Native American stuff relating to the river and the land around it. The dam was built on land that was once Cherokee territory.
Okay. Is this dam still in use today?
No.
Okay, demolished?
No, it's there. It's just not in use.
Oh.
Now, like with a lot of Native American land, this land that this dam sits on was not obtained in a nice manner, in a fair manner, in a legal manner. I said matter instead of manner. Anyway, the land was obtained via a treaty which was illegal under British law. And some of the Cherokee chiefs, they disavowed the treaty, including Dragging Canoe, who refused to sign it. So during the Treaty of the Sycamore Shoals, War Chief Dragging Canoe cursed the land, and he said that the land would be dark and bloody, and anyone who attempted to settle there would find it to be unproductive and uninhabitable. So, basically, I would say that the curse has proved to be true or effective because they haven't had a good time with this land.
Okay.
The Cherokee also found like this section of the river to be sacred, maybe because of the suck thing with the whirlpool and their ancestors.
Yeah.
So in the 1900s...
So were people giving themselves up in this whirlpool?
No. It was just if you got too close. It was like an area that they tried to avoid. 1900, Major Dan C. Kingman of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineering designed a dam to flood this section of the river. It was supposed to remove the swift current and make it more easy to navigate. Building began in 1905, and it was built by the Chattanooga and Tennessee River Power Company. It was completed on November 11th, 1913, with operation beginning 2 days after completion. So, how many years is that? So 8 years, right?
Yep.
Took 8 years to complete. They had many setbacks during the construction relating to the soft bedrock. I guess like limestone was used as the foundation.
Of the dam?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we have limestone in Florida.
Yeah, but
that's what leads to like sinkholes.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not very reliable.
No,
because like people who have limestone driveways, like they have to get them replaced, like every couple of years or whatever.
Especially against water.
Oh yeah.
Like, isn't the reason sinkholes happen is because like the water erodes the limestone underneath and then
yeah, it causes a hole or cavern.
Yeah. So I don't know why they use limestone. Doesn't seem like a good idea.
Well, just uninformed, but it's all like we're all in. It's all a learning process.
I suppose.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, they sure learned because during construction, many workers died, including children. I guess like the kids had to go through like a tunnel of some sort to get to school, and it was very poorly lit. So some died. I don't know. Leaks also appeared almost immediately after completion because the limestone would collapse, like we were just saying. Limestone does, and it would cause new cracks to form. Another problem was also that this dam was the first of its kind. It was the first multi-purpose dam. It was the first dam built across a navigable channel. Is that how you say that word?
A navigable channel? Yes.
Navigable. I don't know.
Navigable.
It sounds nice.
Is it navigable? No, it's not.
Navigable? I don't know.
Dude, nobody cares, man.
Who was going to care? My mom. My mom will care. It was also the largest dam of the time, measuring half a mile and 63 feet long. So, quite long. They tried to fix the leaks in 1919 by putting hot asphalt into the foundation, and that didn't really work for super long.
Shocker.
I know. They also had at least 2 kids that died during one of the larger leaks.
What did these kids have to do with anything?
I guess they had to go through the tunnel to get to school, and it clearly wasn't very safe.
What tunnel?
The tunnel through the dam.
Just build a bridge over the water. Why are you navigating kids through dam, man? This doesn't make sense.
I don't know. It was the 1900s.
Hey, if that's what it took them to realize, good riddance. God bless the kids, man. But you needed. You were needed for people to learn. Dude, that's a horrible idea.
I know. I don't get it, but it's what they did. There was like a group of people called the Rag Gang, and it was a group of men responsible for stopping.
The Rag Gang?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus.
They were responsible for stopping the leaks. They used whatever they could find to stuff the cracks, including asphalt, hay bales, mattresses, blankets, corsets, and who knows, maybe even the bodies of these dying children.
What's the pay on that? That sounds like an easy job. It's
gotta be like a penny an hour. Was there even labor laws back then?
No.
They probably were not.
There were children navigating through a dark tunnel of limestone.
You're right.
Nobody
was no
cares.
laws.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cared back then. It did manage to stay leak-free until 1931, but at that time the leak was back at a rate of 1,000 cubic feet per second, which I don't know how much water that is, but that sounds like a lot of water.
I don't know.
That's like 1,000 feet of cubes. Imagine 1 square foot cube of water leaking per second.
Well, wouldn't 1,000 square feet be 1,000 feet?
No, 1,000 cubic feet. So like a cube. You know what a cube? You see your little Rubik's Cube over there? Imagine that is the size of a foot. A foot this way, a foot that way, a foot that way.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't...
No, because a square foot is squared. A cubic foot is cubed.
This is my last podcast.
A square foot is like 2-dimensional. A cubic foot is 3-dimensional. Like if we calculated the feet of this room.
My geometry teacher, his name was Mr. Wyckoff. So that's all I need to say, I think.
I don't know. Did we all just have terrible geometry teachers? My geometry teacher told us that if he carried guns, a few of us would already be shot.
Oh my
So,
God.
yeah, we weren't learning much. It was wacky. Basically, guys, we don't know our geometry, but it sounds like a lot of water was leaking. And we'll leave it at that. The dam changed ownership on August 15th, 1939, when it was bought by the Tennessee Valley Authority. Their goal was to develop and regulate flood control and hydropower in the valley. They immediately tried to fix the leaking problem and spent over 2 decades working on it. Long ass time. They did gain some control of the leaks by 1943, so 4 years later, but by the 1950s, it was leaking again at a rate of 2,000 cubic feet per second. Again, I'm not even going to try to figure out how much that is, but it sounds like a lot of water. I should have looked up the conversion of like cubic feet to gallons. Is there even a conversion for that? I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Math is not my strong suit. In the 1960s, they did a dye test that showed the leaks had connected and that there was the very real possibility of dam failure. So the TVA wanted to expand the dam's navigation lock, but that was too expensive, and it was like basically a really shitty dam. So it was replaced by Nick-a-Jack Dam 6 miles away. I don't know who named that.
Yeah.
What kind of name?
Please don't ever say that again.
Don't worry, I don't think I will be. This dam, the Hales Bar Dam, went out of operation on December 14th, 1967. And when it went out of operation, they flooded the nearby city, including the cemetery, and no bodies were removed prior to doing this. If you go there, you can still see 3 headstones peeking out of the water with the names reading Henry, Moses, and Zilpha Long. So a little family.
Mm-hmm.
Today, the dam is on the National Register of Historic Places and operates as a private event space. The first 2 floors of the dam are
the dam that was collapsing
yes.
like less than 100 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if it's not being used as a dam anymore, it becomes more stable, right? Because like the pressure of the water against it that it's trying to stop.
The limestone dam. Yeah, wherever that's at, I'm not going there.
I don't know. Maybe they're just hoping it doesn't collapse. The first 2 floors of the dam are underwater, and they also use it as storage. The Hales Bar Dam and Marina, they use it for that. There are many, many deaths associated with the dam, so let's explore a few of them. There was a boiler explosion that killed a man. A falling derrick crushed and killed 2 people.
What is that again?
Do you know what a derrick is?
I feel like I've heard of it.
Well, luckily for you, I did look it up. So basically, you know those like crane things that are like on wheels, but then it has that massive arm that holds the little thing, and sometimes it has like a little loop on it or a ball or whatever?
Yeah.
That's the derrick of the crane. And so that thing fell and crashed on people. Someone got their foot stuck in a rope and was pulled underwater and then drowned. Unfortunate.
That is like a movie type death right there.
I know. A man was murdered by being struck across the neck with a bench. Is a bench what I'm thinking? Like a bench? Like this man just picked up a bench and hit another man? That seems...
Rage empowers.
That seems crazy, right?
Yeah.
There was also one worker who was found on the railroad tracks after being run over. Crazy. Who gets hit? I don't know. Maybe he was committing suicide. There were 12...
Trying to cross?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Listen to this one. This one's wacky. 12 employees got caught in a concrete mixer and are encased in the walls.
What?
I don't know. I don't know how that happens. Why did they pour that cement anyway?
Because you gotta meet demand, you gotta meet demand.
Oh well, sorry.
Hated all of them anyway.
Oh well, good luck,
Death
guys.
to you guys.
That's so weird. And then up to 11 children died here with an estimated several hundred total deaths. There was also like this riot, I guess, like a small race riot, where 3 black men were murdered due to a rumor that one of them was going to get a manager position. So basically, these white guys were unhappy that the black guys were going to get a manager position, so they beat up this guy named Charles. So then the black guys were like, "Hey man, you don't do that," and they retaliated, and it turned into a race riot. And I found an article on it from 1910 in the New York Times, and it said two of the black men ended up dying.
Well,
And
no,
that happened at the dam.
It's only like a couple decades after
I know.
ceasing of
The Civil War.
Civil War.
And there was still probably like segregation. And
I was going to ask, when was the Jim? Cut this out if it's wrong, but isn't it Jim Crow laws?
Yeah.
When was that? What era was that? I thought it was a lot later than 1910, wasn't it? Or no?
When did Jim Crow laws end? Okay, so they ended very recently in 1965.
Yeah, that's what I figured. It was like relatively not that long ago
that they ended. No, but they started until they started in the 1870s and went until 1870s to 1968.
They lasted almost 100 years?
Yeah, it took us 100 years to get rid of that.
Are you kidding me?
I think Florida was one of like the last states to get rid of segregation or something. Florida, let's look it up. When did Florida desegregate schools? Because you know that school I went to for elementary school? That school was like created or something to like get rid of the segregation because we were still segregated like pretty recently. Okay. Florida desegregated schools in the 1970s. That was only 50 years ago.
Wow. And it's so crazy too because oh
my God. Desegregation was still actively going on in Jacksonville until 1990. Wow. That was only 35 years ago.
In our city, though, it's crazy. You can still see there are like two hospitals right next to each other that are completely different. Your hospital and the one right next to it.
Yeah.
You know, that clearly was those were segregated hospitals.
You think?
Oh, 100%.
We'll have to look into that.
No. I believe I remember somebody was telling me that they're literally and we're talking like they're not like emergency room, like go in, like they're actual hospitals. Surgeries are performed there. There's emergency rooms, there's ICUs, all that stuff. And then literally the next plot of land
over.
There is one road separating it.
Road.
Yeah, is another hospital with a different emergency room. There's an ICU, surgeries performed. They have a peds unit. And I never thought about it until recently, but like, what the hell is the point of that?
Maybe you're right.
I 100% believe that.
We'll have to Google that and research it one day.
Yeah.
I just can't believe that Jacksonville didn't totally desegregate until the 1990s. That is like.
I wonder what was the last.
It said buses.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But that's like, my mom is older than that, basically. I was almost born at that point. Mm-hmm. That's insane. Anyway, moving on from that, let's go back to the cemeteries. It said, and this is like in all cemeteries, that there's far more graves than there are markers. And many of the graves were a result of a tuberculosis outbreak that happened. So one of the guys there is Henry Long, or I think he is. I don't remember. Yeah, Henry Long. He moved to Jonesboro, Tennessee from West Virginia, and he settled in a valley and operated a livestock trading business. He later moved to Mullins Cove and bought 2,000 acres.
Good for him.
What a lucky man.
Yeah.
2,000 acres. His wife died in the 1860s and was buried on their land about a quarter mile from the river. Henry died in 1875 and was buried next to his wife. Many of their descendants are buried there, but the only one with a headstone that remains is Moses Merritt Long, who died at 3 months old. And he was the great-grandson of Henry, who is also buried there, and then Zilpha, who was his wife. Mm. Some sources say it is unclear when the cemetery went underwater, but I wonder if this whole unclear, we're not sure, is just the TVA, the people that took over the dam, trying to make themselves not sound like assholes.
Yeah.
Because it says the water could have been at the cemetery's perimeter in the 1920s, or it could have already been underwater in the 1920s.
And it's underwater today still?
Yeah. It was definitely underwater by 1949 when the TVA wanted to deepen the channels between the Hales Bar Dam and Chickamauga. Typically, the TVA has a plan for cemetery removals and will seek out families when a new dam may cause flooding. And even though I was like, I don't know if they're just telling us this like to try to cover up them flooding this cemetery anyway, they do actually have a pretty good history of relocating graves, and they've relocated about 550 different cemeteries starting from 1933 until now.
Oh wow, that's one hell of a job right there.
I know.
No, thank you.
I think it'd be fun, but I'm just weird. Like getting to see all the different people that are there, like all the different names.
Do they just like relocate graves? They like,
They probably take out if they had a casket, but if the caskets would, it might have been decayed by then, depending on when the people were buried.
Then they
move them to a different cemetery. I guess
they've dug up the whole skeletal system.
Yeah.
All what is it? 200? Is it
226?
Ah.
Wait, I don't know.
Oh, I thought it was 216.
It might be.
Look it up. We gotta see.
Okay. How many bones in the human body? 206.
We're both wrong.
We had the 2 and the 6 right. We were pretty good. I don't know. I haven't looked up into how they relocate or like what they do with the bodies, but I would assume they just take them somewhere else.
Probably.
According to the TVA officials, the cemetery was already flooded prior to their involvement, and there is a supposed agreement with the Long family that was made in 1944 stating they wanted the bodies to remain in place. So, who knows? One way or another, the people are still buried there, and they are underwater now.
Interesting.
Sarah, which a lot of people say like it's Henry, Moses, and Sarah that are buried there. Sarah is a person on the family tree, but is actually Henry's daughter-in-law. His wife is named Zilpha, and she is buried next to him, so it makes more sense that the graves would be Henry and Zilpha, not Henry and Sarah. The gravestones are like super weathered, 1 because they've been underwater, and 2 because they're from the 1800s. Yeah. And Zilpha, which is actually spelled Zilpha, was spelled on the grave Zilpah, making it easy to mistake it for Sarah. So, who knows? In 1999, the TVA put a perimeter fence around the graves, so they do have some form of protection, I guess.
In the water?
Mm-hmm.
There's a fence how deep is this water?
I don't think it's very deep because you can see like the tips of the gravestones.
Oh, okay.
I'll show you the aerial shots because the aerial shots of the cemetery show that there are no other graves, just these 3, regardless of the water level. So there are a few hauntings in this place, but really not very many. There's a girl in a pink dress, and she walks the halls. She's supposedly murdered, but maybe she was one of those kids going to school.
Going to school to show off her new pink dress, and died in the dark cave. No one found her.
Yeah, she probably was. Some say a demon lives in the tunnel, which that's a little scary.
Nosferatu?
I don't know. We just watched a movie, guys, about vampire demon. I don't really know.
We watched Nosferatu.
Nosferatu. I don't like saying that word. I just feel like it's... You know how in Harry Potter they say if you say Voldemort, it like calls him or like gives him power? That's how I feel about saying Nosferatu. Anyway, it was a pretty good movie. I couldn't really fully enjoy it because the movie theater had to have been like, 100 degrees in there? I was sweating my ass off.
I don't know. I'd never been so hot in my life.
Neither have I. I was uncomfortably hot.
I felt like I was sitting next to a car engine while it was running. I'm not even joking.
It was so hot.
I was sitting there. I wasn't even watching the movie. I was just comparing to how hot it was to things that I've sat next to that are hot.
I couldn't even focus on the movie because I was just trying to get cool.
I was waiting for Dryerland to hit me because I thought somebody was doing laundry.
Felt like we were in the dryer. It was a lot. Anyway,
nonetheless.
maybe Nosferatu lives in the tunnel. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
People also say that you can hear the screams of the men who got trapped in the cement walls.
Oh, that's horrible.
And you know what?
Them poor bastards, they need to get them out of there.
They do. And I'm sure they are haunting the place, honestly. Like, that's a terrible way to go. Anyway, that's all the hauntings. Not very haunted,
Wow.
but I liked it.
Yep.
So, you guys don't know this, but you, Jake, do know this. I have like a few mini series planned for this podcast.
Oh, really? Wow.
You know this, right?
No. I have no idea.
You're joking. Or are you being serious? I can't tell.
I've never heard of this.
Oh. Oh my god. Look, we're going to be on episode 10. Guys, I have 15 episodes pre-planned and we're going to be on episode 10, which means I'm going to have to start researching again.
You literally only have... You're kidding.
That'll be the end of the podcast when we get to episode 15. No, I'm just kidding. These are some good episodes, though, coming up. Anyway, I have a few, like, mini-series I want to do. One is Haunted Roads.
Oh, okay. I remember you.
And the second one is, I'm calling it Silent Souls. And we'd explore, like, cemeteries, which I don't know if anyone would like that other than me.
I won't be there for those.
He will be there.
I will be busy.
He will not be busy.
I'm busy those days.
But I might wait a little longer to do those. The Haunted Roads one would be cool. The Silent Souls, that may cause people to no longer listen. So I might have to wait a little bit longer. Anyway, the reason why I bring this up is because this episode discussed a city or a cemetery, and I don't know. It'd be cool.
Yeah, maybe.
I also have like some ghost towns planned coming up. This one ghost town is in Florida.
I remember you speaking about it.
I'm so excited. I really want to find it. But that's episode 10. We're going to be, that's episode 11. We're going to be on episode 10. So 2 weeks, guys, and you'll be able to hear my most favorite episode ever. Okay, are you ready for your hint?
I'm so waiting for this.
He's so ready for the hint. This place, it's Jake's favorite.
Toothbrushes?
Be quiet. This is Jake's favorite kind of history because this place was first established in the 1300s.
I'm busy next week.
He's not busy. It's thought to date back to 1386. It's located in Scotland. And that's all I got. He's looking at how much research I have on this place. 6 pages of research. Guys, it's a cool place. I like it. And I think you will too, even though he doesn't look excited. But there's warlocks, there's ghosts.
What? Warlocks?
There's taverns. Is
this Harry Potter?
This might be Harry Potter. There's a jail. And it's in Scotland, guys. And that's your hint.
That actually sounds quite interesting.
It's pretty famous, so I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people guess it.
Okay.
Well, guys, thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate your support. We have Instagram, YouTube, Spotify. Obviously, if you're listening on Spotify.
I don't know why you say this every week.
Because, okay, I post this audio on YouTube as well. So, like, I have to say YouTube and Spotify, because if they're listening on YouTube, they need to know we have a Spotify. And if they're listening on Spotify, they need to know we have a YouTube.
Fair enough.
We also have a Google Mail, a Gmail.
Third time's the charm.
Yes. So if you would like to contact us, all of that information is in the description of this episode. We would love to hear from you. If you've been to any of these places, questions, comments. I was going to say references, but no. Recommendations. Please give us your recommendations.
Yeah, for sure.
And
preferably from the 20th century.
Yeah, he wants some more recent hauntings. I like the old
I just think it's more like relative, you know?
Well, you know what? Maybe you could do some research and do your own episodes, and then you could have some more recent history.
Well, 1300s is fine.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Anyway, if you could do that, let me start that sentence over. Also, if you would like to rate, review, subscribe, that would really help others to see our podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd love to read your reviews, see what you think about us.
Maybe I will do an episode one time.
I would love if you did an episode one time.
Yeah.
It'd be cool.
Well, you never know. You never know. I might just do that.
He might surprise us all one day and be like, no, I'm doing the episode this week. He might.
Well, I'm not surprising you because I'm going to need your help if I'm going to do anything. Right?
You guys will all be surprised, not me. Okay.
All right, to nobody who's still listening to this.
I bet my dad's still listening. He's my number one fan, okay? Alrighty. Until next week, Dad.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna have to cut that out.
Yeah.
Until next week, guys.
See ya.
Bye.